crazy. Okay? And one more. And so, one other key thing about breathing that I'm going to talk to you about, because we did a lot of breathing to support bubbles and then sing from there, is that I'm going to get you to breathe in through your nose. And when you do that, I want you to take an inventory of the space that you have in your mechanism. So the specific areas I want you to be mindful of are going to be your the back of your throat, okay, where your tongue is when you breathe in through your nose, the space in your throat when you breathe in through your nose, and then the mechanism down here, your lungs filling, your belly expanding, all of those sort of things, all right? So breathe out all your air, and just breathe in through your nose. And let it go, naturally. It doesn't need to be one of those super deep, big breaths. It's just you're breathing normally. But I want you to be actively taking an inventory of what's going on in your mechanism. So just keep breathing through your nose and letting it out. Okay? And one more. And down. Who can tell me about the space in this portion of your vocal mechanism when you're breathing through your nose?
I feel like you expand.
Yes. Up through your eyes. Okay? This all relaxes. When we breathe through our nose, tongue goes down, right? Our body is automatic. It knows what to do. Oh, we're breathing right now? Okay, I know what to do. Tongue goes down, throat opens up, everything goes in, expansion, done. Okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to open your mouth. And I want you to take a normal breath through your mouth. And I want you to take an inventory of what happens to your mechanism when you breathe through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Just take an inventory and exhale. Anything feel different? You got it. Okay? And what did we learn yesterday about when that palate gets involved? Where does the sound stop? Right? So here's the rub. We can't breathe through our nose while we're singing. Can you imagine? How could you believe me when I said I love you when you know it? Can you imagine? It would be a funny parody though.
Oh, what?
Okay? We have to breathe through our mouths while we're singing. But we need to use the space that is allotted to us in a nose breath versus a mouth breath. Okay? So exhale out all your air and breathe in through your nose again so you can feel that space. And exhale. Now, what I want you to do is on this next breath, you're going to open your mouth, and I want your mechanism to feel the same way. Use the feel method. We have it. Create that same space and take a breath through your mouth. How'd it go?
It worked.
Here's a little trick, okay? Here's a little trick. You don't need your mouth open like that to take a breath, right? The breaths that we take when we're speaking, you'll notice that the sound is coming out of me out of the front of my mouth, right? It's not like it. That's when I lift my belly. So if I take that big mouth, open mouth breath, and then I try to talk, that's where it stays. But if I keep my mouth in a smaller space, like the size that it would be if I was speaking, then I can start singing right through that space. Big mouth breath, it stays stuck back there. Small speaking breath, it stays where I want it to go. Do you see what I'm saying? So here's the rub, is that I say, bubble breath, and you all go, I got it. I got it. Okay? So while we're doing bubbles today, during these drills, bubbles and vowels and all of those sort of things, I want you actively thinking about how big is my mouth when I breathe. And it should never be bigger than it would be if you were speaking. Your speaker knows what to do. Your talker knows what to do. Okay? Let it do its job. So, with that in mind, we're going to start. No, that doesn't feel high enough. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the notes we're going to be singing. We're going to do 2 on a bubble. And you're going to be thinking about the size of your mouth on the breaths in between them. And flood both of those bubbles with air. Here we go. Bubble breath. Key change. Watch the mouth size. Good, deep breath. And let it go. How'd that go? Anybody run out of air? No. Right? The mouth doesn't have to be this giant gaping space for you to get enough air to do a bubble breath. Sometimes we think it needs to be really big, but it knows what to do and you'll get enough air. Okay? Yes?
So when you gasp to get the air, that's not.
That means you're breathing right here. Okay? So what I want you to do, if you experience that, if you had a gasp in between, what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand on your tummy right here and make sure that when you get to the breath mark, this is dropping. Because if you're breathing here, it means this is being held. You have tension here and you're going to get the air in versus the air comes in. Okay? So that's where you can check for that. Let's go there. We're going to go down this time because it's Sunday morning and we need to sing more. So the breath down. Here we go. Breath. Key change down. Key change down. Good job. Deep breath in. And let it go. How did those ones go? Did you have enough air to bubble? Yeah? Were your gas, did you relax things and, yeah? Much better, right? It's probably at the end of the bubble, you might be rolling this in a little bit to get that sound out, and then you just have to make sure you're releasing it on the inhale. Sometimes we'll hold that tension and go, and then it's really hard to sing after that because this is already still being held. So that might be a space you need to check. Yeah?
So if I'm breathing in and bubbling up and my breath feels fine, but I start getting lightheaded, what's causing that?
You are oversaturating with oxygen. You're taking in too much air. That means you have more air to give to your bubble. That you're holding air in on your bubble and you're not letting all of it out. That means you can flood more air through those bubbles if you're getting lightheaded. Yep.
So in the repeat, if you don't need to take air in, can you do the 2 with one air?
You can,
or
but
should you do
for the
it?
purpose of
Bubble.
the exercise having unity, stop making sound while the others breathe, and then keep going.
Okay.
But if you're going to do that, make sure you're checking here and checking there that on the back end of that second bubble, they're not being produced with tension.
Okay.
Because you may have the air to get all the way through one and about halfway through the second one, but the 911 might be starting there, and then this is going to come into play, and so is this.
Okay.
And that you'll lose your harmonics. And if you consider that would be the phrase ending, the last place you want to lose your harmonics is in a phrase ending. So better to fuel and use it all than run out and muscle it through.
Okay.
Right? It's choosing the best airflow for yourself at all times. Right? And I'm a firm believer that if they give me a breath mark, I'm taking the breath mark. I don't need to be like, I didn't do that breath It's like, yeah, you did, right? I'm not suggesting that for you, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
Make sure that you're using your optimum airflow if you skip the breath mark. Okay? So now we're going to go to 5-note descending bubbles with a vowel sound on it. So just to remind ourselves where that space is the note we're going to bubble and we're going to go just so that we can remind ourselves where those vowel spaces are, okay? So it's going to be E, A, O, U. I didn't get my word going. Here we go. Bubble. To E. Breathe. Bubble. Ah. Bubble. O. Good. Bubble. Ooh. Good. I'm going to go through those 4 one more time, and I want you to do a little personal inventory on whether or not your sound is coming out of your talker or it's maybe stuck somewhere, okay? Because there was only maybe 1 or 2 voices on each of those different vowel sounds that got a little stuck. I heard maybe 1 wider E. When we went, I heard 1 like that, but for the most part, everybody was in here. When we went to, I heard a couple, check to see if you're Julia, child, and bring it forward, okay? Get it back into your talker. And the ooh, the O and the oo were the same. There were a couple that were stuck in the back. So do a personal inventory and see if it's coming out here or if it's coming in there. If you're not sure how to check for that, if you can hear yourself really well on an oo, an ah, or an o, it's in the back. If you can't hear yourself so well, then it's coming out your talker. Okay? Here we go. E. Good. Bubble. Ah. That's awesome. Bubble. Oh. Wonderful work. Bubble. Ooh. Yes. Thank you. For whoever moved things around, well done you. Well done you. Now we've got a really good unit sound. So now we'll do the 5-note descending bubble. We'll go to B. B. Okay, your turn. Bubble. Go. B. B. Do that one again. Make sure it's coming out of your talker. There it is. Key change, please. Bubble. Do B again. That was great. Key change. Bubble. Do ba this time. Repeat that one through your talker. One more time. Through here. Very good. So we needed a 3 go on that one for folks to do a little personal inventory. And on that last one, I think almost all of us, maybe 1, maybe 2 voices. Still had God, toe backspace. Oh. Can you hear how it almost sounds like it comes out of key as I'm descending when it's covered? Oh. My last 2 sound a little, almost close to flat. Does not sound flat. Those were both the same notes. But because the second one came out of my talker, it still had its harmonics and it still had its ring. Yes?
So I'm not this trouble on these, but I have it in pause. Some of these notes go right through my brain.
Oh.
So when I'm trying to push air out, I can't get it to take.
Okay.
So
here's what you do. I have a very controversial opinion about breaks. Because lots of vocal educators for many years have said, give it air! Give it air! Okay? I am the opposite of that. Okay? If you are navigating through your break, it's like shifting gears on a standard vehicle, to me. Okay? If you've ever driven a standard vehicle, in order to shift gears, right, you've got your clutch over here and you've got your gas pedal over here. So I'm driving along and my gas pedal's down and I gotta get out of second gear and I gotta go into third, aka your brake. Right? What do I have to do? I gotta take the gas off, I gotta push the clutch in, I gotta shift gears, and then I've gotta go. If I let that clutch go immediately without the gas, I go, and that's exactly what happens to our brake, right? If you try to pull air or pull things right off of it, you go, and you get this little yodel as you're going through it. Okay, so for me, I think it's better to navigate the brake, take off the gas, pull that air off of it, let your register shift, and then add air to it as you can. Yes.
Can you do both, adding lots of air, and can you demonstrate?
Oh, okay. Let me find my brake first. Where are we? No, it's not there. Okay, I got a little bit of one in there. About by the third one on my way down, I got a little bit on there. So. Hear how I can't control it? Right? When I get to those notes that are in my brake space, if I fuel it with a bunch of air, you heard how it got wobbly. And I have no control after it because everything's going to hell in a handbasket, right? Versus if I take the air off on that third one as I'm descending. Let's see what happens to the other two afterwards. So the third one didn't even sound that bad. It was a little lighter, which if you heard it when I gave it lots of sound and lots of air, it was probably best that it's a little lighter anyways, because it's not my best note. Okay, so that's that idea. Take the gas off, get through it, and then you can give more gas to the other one.
When I do that, because I've heard that before, it reminds me to relax as well. It relaxes it. Whereas if I try to sing through it, okay, louder, it's going to make me move right through it. Once again, it doesn't sound as well, but it tenses things up. So when I'm first warming up and I'm finding all my breaks, that's what I find is that when I do let off, it relaxes it, so that, like you said, you have more control for the following one.
Yeah. The other follow-up that you can do to that, if you want to expand more on how to not have a break, okay, is there's a musical educator out there, his name is Roger Love. Now, I warn you ahead of time, listening to this man's audios are very annoying. He is in love with the sound of his own voice, so his exercises are very annoying. However, with that said, he has really great exercises on training the middle voice, the mixed voice, right? So I had to go hunting for my break because I'm used to singing with mixed voice in a certain way that I don't flip registers. My sound in my head voice is the same as the sound in my chest voice because I sing both of them through the middle. So if you look up Roger Love, he's got a few different exercises. He uses the word goog a lot because goog helps you cram. It helps you train the voice into it. So it's like goog, 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 goog. That took me from my chest to my head, but you didn't hear me switch registers, right? So it helps train that break space out of you by training middle voice. So Roger Love. But his exercises like that on his recording would be like good, 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 good. And it's like, oh, for the love of fate,
That's my husband.
right?
I'm not
When he does like the octave jumps, it's like good, 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 good. I'm like, oh my god, you're so annoying.
This is what I live with on a daily basis.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that the exercises really work.
They're good.
They're really good. When I shifted out of singing bass for 10 years to take a lead role in a quartet, I needed to find any notes up in this part of my body because I had been living in here for 10 years. And so somebody had suggested Roger Love to me to find my lead voice. And those exercises like changed my world for middle voice and eliminating that break and that head voice that feels right? I don't know. When I sing in my head voice, I feel like I'm just kind of phoning it in. I'd rather have my full sound up there, so. Okay, so those were great exercises. The bubble ah, bubble oh, bubble ooh. Everybody was fixing and adjusting really, really well. So now we did the ah, oh, oohs. I'm gonna give you one more, but I just want to think about what they are. Me. Are you familiar with that exercise? Okay, I want you to bubble that one. Here we go. Good. Now, if you're familiar with that exercise, do you do the slide up the octave? No? Okay, because then it did crickets. I wish I had my phone ready for a cricket sound. That would have been perfect. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that first part of the exercise. You slide up that octave. And then up there you do. Slide back down. Okay? If we want to access all those different spaces, we need to know where am I going to add tension. If I get up high, does my tummy get involved? If I get down low, if I'm a tenor, and I go down low, does my tummy get involved? Does my throat get involved? All those sort of things. Okay? Sorry, I need to take a drink. I just got a tickle in my throat while we were doing that. This is where we're going to start. Sorry, I just spit all over myself. Here we go. Breathe. Did you know you had that much air on high notes? Air on the high notes. Oh, yeah.
No, I should have taken it across somewhere, Louise. I'm with you.
All right, so that's good to know though, because it's like, did I take a bubble breath? Was I fueling that well? Was I holding tension? Because it was like, ooh, this is high. Okay? So the purpose of this is singing all those different high and low notes tension free. Remember, your bubbler won't work if you add tension. Is there starting note? Here we go. Good. So, I use this one a lot. Excuse me. I would descend that a couple of times. Like, I breathe in here and I go down another one and I start going to do da 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 da. Well, you know what? Let's just do it. That's our starting note and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Have fun. Here we go. This is not for, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't sing that high. I can't whatever. It's an exercise. It's drill work for your instrument so that you can work towards not sounding like a Jetsons car on the top line. Right? When we go up to that third octave, right? That's how it sounds. Right? So it's a training activity how do I bubble up there? Without tension. Jensen's car is tension. No tension. Okay? And anybody can do that. And that's one that you can just do in your car. Or do while you're doing the dishes or whatever. Okay? But that's a great one. So then another way I like to use that exercise is for that stretching and that relaxation up top. And then here's what we're going to do on this one. Is we're going to do the lower octave. We're only going to do 2. We'll do the 2 octave exercise. We'll do the lower one on the bubble, and then we're going to slide up, and we're going to do the top one on B. So it's going to sound like this. We're going to start there. Try bubble, go. Personal inventories? Did you discover anything? I can tell you what you did, but did anybody know?
A lot of attack going down on the
Headed down, you're like,
yeah.
That's all right.
And I felt like my palate kind of tried to go up
Yes.
as soon as I started eating.
The B up there, that's right. Yeah, we had a lot of those. There was an overall sound of that backspace.
Actually, I found it was easier when I didn't have the open mouth. I remembered smaller is better, and then tongue flat with behind the teeth.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I could do that. There wasn't my
So one of the things, one of the tips and tricks I gave to the bases yesterday was about the lower you go, the smaller the mouth. Same thing applies when you go high. The higher you go, the smaller the mouth. If you go back and you look at Brava, the year that they won their crown, in their contest ballad, at the end of it, Sandy had the hanger, and it was in the rafters. And I'm pretty sure the vowel sound that the balance of the quartet was making was like an ooh or an ah. It was something tall and open, and Sandy's like this the whole time. Because it's so high that if she went, no sound, right? So the higher you get, the more your mouth can be closed. So when we get up to those B's up there, whatever it is, close that mouth down a little bit. Remember, you only need talking space to make sound. You only need talking space, okay? There's our bottom octave. Here we go. Who does vocal warm-ups?
Music team, yeah, the whole music team does that.
Okay, so vocal warm-up team. Use that exercise on target vowel sounds that we've talked about, right? So the ones like we went over yesterday where I was like saying you need to think about shake while you're singing shame. I would use shake on the second octave. Shake. Use that there. Right? Use those words in that. Okay, let's go over the wee on sheet that we did yesterday, just so that we remember how it all goes, and then we can jump into some songs. Sound like